Imagine this. Raw, untamed aggression slamming into a wall of ironclad discipline. It's the kind of clash you'd expect in a heart-pounding thriller, but this isn't a script. It's real, unfolding on an ordinary Saturday evening in a quiet corner of America, and it's about to pull you in. Where are you watching this unfold? Maybe nestled in a cozy U.S. den, halfway across the globe with morning coffee, or burning the midnight oil somewhere else entirely. Hit that subscribe button, tell us your spot in the comments, and stick with us. This story's just starting, and you won't want to miss a second. Picture Willow Creek Park, a snug haven tucked against the edge of Boise, Idaho. The air carries a whiff of pine and grilled hot dogs, wrapping the place in a warm, familiar hum, like a town where trouble feels like a tall tale. It's where families haul folding chairs to cheer at Little League games, retirees stroll with their spaniels along winding paths, and the wildest action is usually a kid scraping their knee on the slide. On this evening, the sun dips low, splashing the sky with orange and pink streaks. The park pulses with its usual rhythm. Shouts from a peewee soccer match, the clink of a bat smacking a foul ball, a golden retriever's bark chasing a tennis ball across the grass. Beneath a sprawling cottonwood tree, 19-year-old Ethan Carter sits on a weathered bench, looking like he's wandered from a different scene. In a tailored navy blazer over a crisp white button-up, tie loosened just enough to say he's off duty, Ethan's no typical park regular. His dark hair's neatly combed, a paperback of The Outsiders rests on his knee, but his hazel eyes keep flicking to the soccer field where his 12-year-old sister Mia weaves through a drill. Ethan's here on a deal. He promised their mom he'd watch Mia after her game and walk her home, all to borrow the family Subaru for a date later. He's the dependable big brother, always a bit wiser than his years let on. Raised in Boise, a city big enough for dreams but small enough to feel like everyone's your neighbor, Ethan carries a quiet confidence. No loud bravado or TikTok flexing. Just a steady calm honed by taekwondo lessons forced on him after a middle school bully left a mark. The park hums around him. A mom rolls a stroller by, chatting about dinner plans. Teens nearby snicker at Instagram reels. Ethan's half lost in his book when a low, guttural roar slices through the dusk. Motorcycles. Not some kid's dirt bike, but the deep, menacing growl of heavy iron. Heads turn, then shrug it off. Boise sees bikers all the time, cruising toward the mountain highways. Ethan doesn't flinch. Just background noise, he thinks. Nothing to do with him. But the noise doesn't drift away. It swells, closing in until it's clear. The bikes aren't passing by. They're here. Tires bite into the gravel lot at the park's edge, engines snarling as they idle. Ethan catches chrome glinting in the fading light from the corner of his eye. He shifts, marking his page, but keeps his head down. Not his circus, not his monkeys. Not yet. One by one, the engines die, giving way to boots crunching dirt and low, rough voices. Ethan steals a glance over his book. 6 figures stride from the lot, their shapes cutting sharp against the golden glow. These aren't weekend riders. They're raw. Leather jackets with faded patches, jeans worn and oil-smeared, faces carved by too many miles. The leader stands out. Stocky, buzzed head, thick beard, sleeves rolled up over tattooed forearms. He walks like he owns the ground, his crew, 5 more, just as rough, fanning out like wolves staking a claim. They don't fit Willow Creek Park. They're a rip in its cozy fabric, and people feel it. A dad on the sidelines frowns, then turns back to the game. A woman with a labradoodle hurries her step, leash taut. Ethan watches, hazel eyes narrowing. He's not quick to panic, taekwondo taught him patience, but these guys prickle his instincts. They're not here for a picnic. They scan the park, heads swiveling, hunting. Then, like a switch flips, their gazes lock on him. Ethan feels the weight of their stares before he meets them. A spotlight pinning him down. Alone on his bench, blazer and tie setting him apart from the sweatshirts and sneakers, he's an oddity. Maybe it's his polish, too sharp for this place. Maybe it's his stillness, unbothered and separate. Whatever it is, they've locked on, and they're not shy about it. The buzz-cut leader tilts his head, muttering to a lanky guy with a scarred cheek. The group shifts, boots scuffing as they move, not toward the field, not the playground, but straight for Ethan. His gut tightens, a faint unease coiling inside. Boise's not a trouble magnet, but this doesn't feel like chance. He lowers his book to the bench, sitting taller. The park's chatter fades to a hum as the bikers close in, their pace slow, deliberate, pulsing with intent. Ethan glances at the field. Mia's still kicking the ball, unaware. Good. She doesn't need to see this, whatever this is about to become. The leader stops a few yards away, his crew fanning out behind him. Up close, he's even more imposing. Broad shoulders, a jaw set like concrete, eyes dark and unreadable. He cracks his knuckles, the sound sharp in the quiet space between them. Ethan meets his gaze, not defiantly, not yet, just steady, assessing. He's been in tense spots before, schoolyard scuffles, a shove or two in the cafeteria, but this is different. These aren't kids testing boundaries. These are grown men, and they're here for something. Ethan's mind races, but his face stays calm, a mask honed by years of training. Whatever's coming, he's not about to blink first. "What are you doing here all dressed up, kid?" The leader gruffs out, his voice carrying the gravelly edge of too many cigarettes and late nights. His tone isn't a question, it's a jab meant to snag a reaction. Ethan tilts his head slightly, meeting the man's stare. "Waiting for my sister," he says, keeping it short, his voice steady but clipped. No need to overshare with a stranger who's looking at him like he's a puzzle to break apart. The biker smirks, a slow, crooked twist of his lips, and glances back at his crew. "This ain't your scene, college boy," he says, the words laced with a sneer, like Ethan's blazer and tie are some kind of personal insult. Ethan's jaw tightens, but he doesn't rise to the bait. Boise's a friendly enough place. People wave at neighbors, chat over fences, but it's not immune to the occasional rough edge. He's dealt with guys like this before, the type who flex their toughness like it's a badge of honor. "It's a public park," he replies, calm but firm, echoing a truth so obvious it should end the conversation. It doesn't. The leader's smirk fades, replaced by a hard glint in his eyes. "Got a mouth on you, huh?" he snaps, stepping closer, his shadow falling across Ethan's lap. The other five shift subtly, tightening their semicircle around the bench. The park's usual soundtrack, kids shouting, a soccer coach's whistle, fades into a dull buzz. Ethan's senses sharpen, zeroing in on the men boxing him in. The lanky one with the scarred cheek crosses his arms, his leather creaking. Another, shorter and stockier, cracks his neck with a pop that makes Ethan's skin crawl. No one else seems to notice the tension brewing under the cottonwood tree. The families by the field are too focused on the game, the dog walkers too busy untangling leashes. Ethan flicks his eyes toward the soccer field. Mia's still out there, her ponytail bouncing as she kicks the ball, unaware. Good, he needs her to stay that way. "You think you're better than us sitting here like some prep school prick?" The leader presses, his voice dropping lower, more menacing. Ethan's stomach knots tighter, but he keeps his hands loose on his knees, his posture relaxed, or as relaxed as he can fake. "I'm just waiting," he says, measured, hoping to diffuse whatever's simmering. It's a lie, sort of. He's not just waiting anymore, he's calculating. His mom's voice echoes in his head, a mantra from years back. "Don't let him see you sweat, Ethan." He clings to it, steadying himself as the biker leans in close enough that Ethan catches the faint whiff of motor oil and stale beer. "Waiting, huh? Maybe you should wait somewhere else," the man growls, his crew chuckling darkly behind him. The threat's unspoken but clear. Move, or we'll move you. Ethan's pulse kicks up, thudding in his ears. He's not scared, not exactly, but he knows this isn't a bluff he can ignore. He's outnumbered, 6-1, and these guys don't look like they back down from much. His mind races through options. Stand up and walk away, risking a shove, or worse, stay put and call their bluff, hoping they get bored. But deep down, he knows neither works when you're the target of something you didn't start. The biker's meaty hand hovers near Ethan's shoulder, not touching yet, just dangling there like a guillotine blade ready to drop. "What's the matter, kid? Too good to talk to us?" he taunts, his breath hot and sour. Ethan exhales slowly, buying time, his eyes locked on the man's. He's been trained to read people, how they shift their weight, how their shoulders tense before a move, and this guy's itching for a fight. Years of taekwondo flood back. Observe, anticipate, react. But the dojo also drilled in discipline. Fighting's the last resort, not the first flex. "I don't want trouble," Ethan says, his voice low, deliberate. "Just here for my sister." The leader snorts, straightening up slightly but doesn't back off. "Trouble? Who said anything about trouble?" he mocks, his tone dripping with fake innocence. His crew snickers again, feeding off his bravado. "Maybe we just want to see what you're made of, pretty boy." The scarred one steps closer, cracking his knuckles now, the sound sharp and deliberate. Ethan's hands twitch on his knees, but he keeps them still. He's ready, muscles coiled, stance subtle, but he's not throwing the first punch. Not yet. Then, a small, fierce voice slices through the standoff like a crack of thunder. "Hey, leave him alone!" Ethan's head snaps to the side, and there she is, Mia, all 12 years of her, standing 10 feet away with her soccer cleats planted in the grass. Her cheeks are flushed from the game, her fists balled at her sides, her brown eyes blazing with a mix of fear and fury. She must have seen them from the field, slipped away from her team to check on him. "Mia, get back!" Ethan barks, his voice sharper than he means it to be, but it's too late. The bikers turn toward her, their attention shifting like sharks smelling blood. "Well, well," the leader drawls, his grin widening into something predatory. "Little sis coming to the rescue?" He takes a step toward Mia, pointing a thick finger her way. "What's your deal, kid? Gonna cry for Big Brother?" The scarred biker laughs, a harsh, grating sound, and the stocky one mutters something under his breath, too low for Ethan to catch. Mia doesn't budge, though. Her chin juts out, stubborn as ever, even as her hands tremble. "You're just bullies," she snaps, her voice shaking but loud enough to carry. Ethan's chest tightens, a surge of protectiveness drowning out everything else. This isn't about him anymore. It's about her. He stands, slow and controlled, the movement drawing every eye back to him. His blazer pulls taut across his shoulders as he shifts his weight, feet finding the balance he's practiced 1,000 times. The bikers freeze for a split second, caught off guard by the shift in his demeanor. He's not the scared kid they thought they'd cornered. "I said, leave her alone," Ethan repeats, his voice steady as steel, cutting through the park's fading light. The game's changed now, and they're about to find out how much. The tension in Willow Creek Park snaps taut as Ethan stands under the cottonwood tree, his navy blazer stretched tight, his feet planted in a stance honed through years of taekwondo. The 6 bikers loom around him, their leather creaking, their faces twisted with a mix of amusement and menace. The buzz-cut leader, broad, bearded, radiating a barroom brawler's confidence, sneers down at Ethan, his thick hand still hovering after Ethan's warning. Leave her alone. Mia, 12 and fierce, stands a few yards away, her soccer cleats digging into the grass, her fists clenched as she glares at the men harassing her brother. The air feels electric, heavy with the promise of something about to break. "Big talk from a kid in a fancy jacket," the leader mocks, his voice a low growl that rumbles through the dusk. He steps closer, boots crunching gravel, his shadow swallowing Ethan's. "What are you going to do about it, huh?" His crew tightens the circle, their laughter sharp and jagged, daring Ethan to crack. The scarred one, lanky, with a smirk pulling at the jagged line on his cheek, leans forward, taunting, "Maybe we'll take little sis for a ride instead." The stocky biker beside him chuckles, a guttural sound that sets Ethan's teeth on edge. Mia flinches but doesn't back down, her voice cutting through again. "You're all cowards!" Ethan's blood runs hot, a surge of protective fury flooding his veins. He's outnumbered, outsized. 6 grown men against a 19-year-old and his preteen sister, and the odds look grim. The park's hum, soccer cheers, a dog barking, feels miles away, drowned by the pounding in his ears. He scans the scene. No one's noticed the standoff yet. Not the parents by the field, not the teens on their phones. It's just him, Mia, and these guys, and they're not backing off. His training kicks in. Stay calm, assess, don't strike first, but the leader's next move tests that resolve. The biker lunges, his hand aiming for Ethan's lapel, a shove meant to topple him and prove who's boss. It's fast, aggressive, a move screaming dominance. Ethan's heart slams, but his body reacts before his mind catches up. The situation's spiraling. 6-1, Mia in the crosshairs, no help in sight. It feels like checkmate, a corner with no escape. The leader's fingers brush Ethan's blazer, and for a split second it looks like the bikers have won before the fight begins. Mia gasps, yelling, "Ethan!" The other bikers close in, boots scuffing, ready to pile on once the first blow lands. The scarred one cracks his knuckles again, grinning like he's about to enjoy a show. The stocky one shifts, blocking Ethan's path to Mia. It's chaos waiting to explode, a storm about to break over Willow Creek Park, and Ethan's the only thing between his sister and whatever these men have planned. The tension's unbearable, a razor's edge, and it feels like there's no winning this. But Ethan doesn't fold. The instant the leader's hand grazes his blazer, his training snaps into gear like a coiled spring. He shifts sideways, fluid and precise, dodging the grab with a grace that throws the biker off balance. Before the man recovers, Ethan's palm strikes the biker's wrist, twisting it down in a move so swift it's almost invisible. The leader grunts, a sharp yelp escaping as he stumbles, clutching his arm. His crew freezes, eyes widening, laughter dying. This isn't the scared kid they expected. This is something else. The scarred biker charges, swinging a haymaker at Ethan's jaw. Ethan ducks low, the fist whistling over, and counters with a snap kick to the man's knee. The crack echoes, and the biker crumples, howling, clutching his leg. The stocky one hesitates, a heartbeat too long, and Ethan pivots, a spinning heel kick slamming into his ribs. The force knocks the wind out, sending him staggering into the dirt, gasping. 3 down in seconds, and the park wakes up. Heads turn from the field. Parents, kids, a coach with a whistle dangling. A mom pulls out her phone, camera flashing as she records the blur under the cottonwood. The remaining bikers falter, bravado cracking as Ethan stands tall, breathing steady, blazer barely rumpled. Mia's jaw drops, fear morphing into awe. "Ethan?" she whispers, like she's seeing him for the first time. The leader recovers, face red with rage, and charges again, fists swinging like a brawler on a bad night. Ethan doesn't meet him head-on. Brute force isn't his game. He dances aside, dodging each punch with sparring-honed agility. The biker overextends, lunging for Ethan's collar, but Ethan twists free, delivering a pinpoint strike to the solar plexus. The air whooshes out, and the leader doubles over, wheezing. His tough guy mask shattered by a 19-year-old in a blazer. The crowd grows. Players abandon the game. Parents herd kids closer. Phones multiply, capturing every second. "Holy crap! Did you see that?" a dad mutters, voice carrying. The last 2 bikers glance at each other, uncertainty flickering. Ethan doesn't gloat. He stands, stance solid, eyes locked. "Walk away," he says. Calm, but heavy, silencing the park. It's a command, backed by 3 men groaning in the dirt. The scarred biker scrambles up, limping, and the stocky one coughs, clutching his ribs. The leader straightens, pride bruised, and spits into the grass. "This ain't over, kid," he snarls, but it's hollow. He jerks his head, and the crew retreats, boots dragging as they limp to their bikes. Engines roar, a fading threat as they peel out, gravel spraying. The park exhales, tension snapping like a cut wire. Cheers erupt. Kids whoop, parents clap. A teen yells, "That was insane!" Ethan doesn't bask. He kneels to Mia, resting a hand on her shoulder, a small smile breaking his mask. "You good?" She nods, eyes shining, then hugs him, soccer ball thumping his back. "You were like a superhero," she mumbles. Ethan chuckles, ruffling her hair. "Just your brother, Mia." As the crowd thins, Ethan's calm hides a storm. He's no stranger to pressure. Being the eldest in a single-parent home meant growing up fast. His mom, a nurse pulling long shifts, relied on him to watch Mia, handle chores, and stay out of trouble. Taekwondo wasn't just exercise, it was salvation after a middle school bully left him shaken, a way to channel anger into focus. Each belt, yellow, green, black, built not just a skill, but a code. Strength is restraint, not recklessness. Tonight tested that code like never before. Walking home, Boise's streets quiet under streetlights, Ethan replays the fight. His hands still tingle, pulse only now slowing. He's proud he protected Mia, but doubt creeps in. Did I escalate too fast? Could I have talked them down? He's not naive, those bikers weren't here to chat, but his dojo preached de-escalation, and he wonders if he leaned too hard into instinct. The leader's threat, "This ain't over," echoes, not scaring him but sharpening his caution. Boise's safe, mostly, but grudges linger. Those bikers could be locals, drifters, or tied to something bigger. Ethan's not paranoid, but he's practical. He'll watch his back, maybe avoid the park for a bit. Beneath the doubt lies something else. A flicker of thrill. For those seconds, Ethan wasn't just the dutiful son or straight-A student. He was alive, every nerve blazing, every move a testament to years of sweat. It's a feeling he craves and fears, a tightrope between control and chaos. He's not a fighter by nature. Taekwondo taught him to avoid brawls, but tonight he felt his potential, a glimpse of who he could be when pushed. It's intoxicating, and that scares him more than the bikers did. Ethan's not just a protector, he's a dreamer, though he rarely admits it. He's studying engineering at Boise State, drawn to building things, bridges, systems, solutions. It's a quiet ambition, born from watching his mom rebuild their life after his dad left when he was 9. That loss shaped him, left a scar he doesn't talk about. He doesn't hate his dad, hate's too heavy, but he's vowed to be better, to be there for Mia and his mom. Tonight, he kept that vow, but the cost lingers in his mind. What if Mia had been hurt? What if he'd lost control? For Mia, the park wasn't just a fight, it was a revelation. At 12, she's used to Ethan as her annoying brother. The guy who nags about homework, steals her snacks, and embarrasses her by being too serious. Tonight, she saw someone else. A shield, a force, moving like he'd trained for this exact moment. It scares her, but it sparks respect. Walking home, Mia clutches her soccer ball, sneaking glances at Ethan. She's always been the loud one, quick to argue, while Ethan's the steady anchor. Now, she wonders what else she's missed. "Did Mom know you could do that?" she asks, half joking. Ethan shrugs. "She knows I train, doesn't mean she likes it." Mia pictures their mom's worry lines deepening and decides to keep the story light at home, sparing her the worst. Mia's shout at the bikers wasn't planned, it was loyalty. A flair she didn't know she had. She's proud, but shaken, realizing how close things came to disaster. Later, in her room, she'll sketch Ethan as a comic book hero, cape and blazer, her way of processing. He's not invincible, but he's hers. She starts to see his quiet strength, how he checks her bike tires, saves her favorite cereal, always shows up. It's not flashy, but it's real, and tonight made it undeniable. Mia's own courage surprises her. She's no stranger to standing up, schoolyard spats, soccer field arguments, but facing grown men was different. It wasn't just about Ethan. It was about right and wrong, a line she felt in her gut. She's young, but tonight planted a seed. Strength isn't just physical. It's speaking up, even when your voice shakes. She'll carry that, even if she doesn't yet know how. Willow Creek Park isn't just a setting, it's a character, a slice of Boise's soul. The city's a blend of old roots and new growth, where ranchers and techies cross paths, where parks like this knit neighbors together. Tonight's clash ripples beyond the cottonwood, a story that'll spread at diners and school gates. By morning, a grainy video hits X, tagged #, Boise Blazer Kid going viral locally. Comments range from hero to why no one helped. The crowd's inaction wasn't apathy, it was shock. Boyseites aren't used to brawls, and Ethan's speed left no room for intervention. The video sparks debates about safety, community, what strength means. Some see Ethan as a vigilante, others a protector. A local news crew visits the park, interviewing parents who praise him, though a few grumble about kids fighting adults. Ethan avoids the spotlight, skipping his date to lie low, Googling self-defense laws just in case. His mom, hearing the story, hugs him tight, pride laced with fear. "You're my rock," she says, but her eyes beg him to stay safe. He promises, knowing it's not fully in his hands. Boise's response reveals its heart. Neighbors drop by with casseroles, a quiet nod to Ethan's stand. A taekwondo instructor offers free classes, inspired by the story. But there's unease too, rumors of biker gangs passing through, a reminder that even safe towns have shadows. The park resumes its rhythm. Kids, dogs, barbecues. But those who saw Ethan won't forget. It's a spark for their own courage, a tale to share when someone needs lifting up. The bikers aren't just thugs. They're a glimpse into a world Ethan barely knows. Their leader, known as Cutter to his crew, isn't a cartoon villain. He's a man adrift, a former mechanic whose shop folded when Boise's boom priced him out. The open road became his home, his bike a symbol of freedom turned bitter. Picking on Ethan wasn't random. It was envy, a jab at the polished kid who seemed to have what Cutter lost, a future. Cutter's crew mirrors him. Men unmoored, chasing respect through fear. The scarred one, Jake, carries a knife wound from a bar fight, a badge he wears proudly. The stocky one, Red, hides a limp from a crash he doesn't talk about. They're not evil, just broken. Their aggression a mask for lives that didn't pan out. Ethan's stand didn't just bruise their egos, it forced a mirror up, showing how far they've strayed. Their threat, "This ain't over," isn't empty. Cutter's pride stings, and he knows Ethan's face now. They won't storm Boise tomorrow, but they'll linger on its edges, a reminder that not every conflict ends clean. Ethan senses this, not in fear, but vigilance. He'll check the rearview mirror a bit more, lock the doors at night. It's not paranoia, it's growing up. Ethan's stand wasn't just a fight, it was a statement. In a world that glorifies loud bravado, he showed strength's quieter side. Discipline over rage, purpose over pride. His blazer, mocked as fancy, became a symbol, not of privilege, but of readiness. A kid dressed for a date but built for a brawl. The bikers sought dominance. Ethan sought balance. The story resonates because it's universal. Everyone's faced a moment where standing up feels impossible. Bullies, fears, odds that loom large. Ethan's no superhero. He's us, on a good day, when courage aligns with skill. For Americans, it's a nod to values we cherish. Family, grit, cool heads under fire. But it's not just American. It's human. A reminder that strength isn't size or swagger. It's knowing your worth and what you'll fight for. Ethan's story also speaks to youth in a world that tests them early. At 19, he's caught between boyhood and manhood, responsibility pulling him forward, doubt holding him back. His fight wasn't just with bikers, it was with himself, proving he could rise when it counted. For Mia, it's a lesson in courage, a spark for her own path. For Boise, it's a mirror, reflecting a community's strength and flaws. Lying in bed, Ethan replays the day. Mia's shout, the leader's snarl, the crowd's cheers. The threat lingers, but it doesn't own him. He's proven something, to Mia, to Boise, to himself. Tomorrow, he'll drive Mia to practice, tease her about her messy room, keep life normal. But he's changed, surer of his place. The park will heal too. By next weekend, Willow Creek will hum, kids, dogs, laughter, its rhythm unbroken. But those who saw Ethan stand will carry it, a spark for their own courage. It's a story of quiet strength, the kind that doesn't shout but echoes long after. Thanks for joining us. Drop a comment. What's your take on Ethan's choice, or when have you stood tall? Subscribe for more stories where the quiet ones shine brightest. Because in the end, it's not the noise that matters, it's the heart.